It looks like Sergiño Dest is going to miss a lot of time with injury, and that is a problem that I don't think Gregg Berhalter is capable of handling. We're going to talk about that next on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub. Welcome back to Pints and Punditry here at the Pitchside Pub. Today we're going to talk about Sergiño Dest and his knee injury that looks like it could keep him out for up to 9 months. We don't know a lot about it yet, but it looks like he's going to be out for a while, and I have concerns because that is not Gregg Berhalter's strength. And I want to go on record, I do not have an agenda against Berhalter. I've made other videos where I am very adamant I am not a Berhalter out guy. I think he's remarkably average. I think there are better managers. I think there are worse managers. But the thing he doesn't do well is adjust and think outside the box, and that's what the United States men's national team needs right now with Dest being out. So we're going to talk about that today, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me down below if you don't follow the channel already. Get down in that comment section as we go, as you hear what I'm saying. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of different options here, and I'd love to get your thoughts on what Berhalter should do or what the team should do if it's not Berhalter. Follow us on Twitter at PitchsidePub. You can leave some comments and keep the discussion going on there. And of course, check out our website, pitchsidepub.com. So Dest, this is such a shame because he's having a good year at PSV. He seems to have found a good level to compete at, and he was getting ready for Copa America, and now boom, knee injury. Looks like he's out up to 9 months, they're saying. So certainly for this summer, we need some short-term fixes. I'm sure he's not going to lose his permanent spot on the team, but we need to come up with some solutions for this year. And knowing Berhalter, it's going to be to stick with the same formation we've been using for years, the 4-3-3, which I'm not against in and of itself. But we're going to stick with the same thing and just plug the next best guy in his place. And right now that's probably Joe Scally, who I like and is a good player, but I'm not sure he's worthy of the starting 11 in a perfect world. And so just plugging him in there is a step back for the team that I'm not sure needs to be taken. The other idea I've heard, and I'm not sure if this is coming from valid sources or if this is just more of a fan theory at the moment, but I've heard, what about Tim Weah, who is playing some wing back at Juventus this year, and what about sliding him from his normal right wing spot down back to right back? And I don't like that because I think it weakens us in two positions, and because he feels like he's out of place as a wingback at Juventus, and would be even more so as a traditional fullback. And that's the problem here is I don't think Berhalter is playing to the strengths of the U.S. roster, even pre-Dest injury. I already don't think that, and I think this only amplifies it if we continue to have this stubborn approach and this need to play in the same position, in the same formation that we always use, this 4-3-3, which again, I'm not against in and of itself, assuming you've got the personnel to make it work. So when Dest and Jedi Robinson are healthy and we've got a good, strong pair of fullbacks there, I'm fine with it in general. But now we don't. So what do? There are a lot of different options here, but I would like to see them consider a 3-back formation. You could go with a 3-4-2-1, a 3-4-3, a 3-5-2. We got a lot of options here. But at the moment, the United States roster has a lot of competent, healthy, very capable, talented center backs, and not a lot of fullbacks. So why are we forcing only 2 center backs and 2 fullbacks onto the roster? Or onto the field at the same time, I should say. Additionally, if we're going to try something like Tim Weah in a deeper position, not at right back, I would not suggest that, but in a wing back type position, he's going to need more defensive help, as does Dest, by the way. This is something that should be considered anyway. He's not a good defender, neither is Weah. But with 3 center backs, they have more support. So if you look at a 3-4-2-1, like Ruben Amorim runs at Sporting, like Xabi Alonso just dominated the Bundesliga with and is about to win a Europa League title with, that's my prediction. The 3-4-2-1 allows those fullbacks to play up more as wingbacks or wide midfielders. And that's a position Weah could do because he's got 3 guys playing deep to support him rather than 2. Weston McKennie could also play it with a lot of success. But that allows them to not have to worry as much about their defensive responsibilities. And thus, a player like Weah becomes an option. So you could put 3 center backs in the back line, because we have about 5 or 6 really good options right now. Walker Zimmerman, Chris Richards, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, John Brooks. I mean, we've got options. We've got plenty of competent center backs that even with 3 of them on the pitch, you could have 6 on the roster, rotate them in, match them up, prevent injuries, account for injuries when you have them, account for yellow coats, all these different things. We have enough depth there that we should be utilizing them. And then you can allow these fullbacks, these wingbacks, these wide midfielders to get forward more, where Jedi Robinson has so much talent. Weah, if you want to use him, or I think you could put Weston McKennie out there. And then if you went with a 3-4-2, you've got Adams and Yunus Musa in the middle, or McKennie could play in the middle there as the second pivot if you used Weah out wide. You've got a lot of different options. And then up front, it's Pulisic and Reina, and pick your striker. I'd go with Fowler and Balogun. But that would be the formation I would go with, but I'd also be okay with a 3-4-3, a 3-5-2. There are a lot of options here. The point is, think outside the box. Is to possibly have to make an adjustment here, and that is what Gregg Berhalter is the worst at. It's not that he's a bad coach overall, but he is a this is my style kind of guy. This is my system, this is my formation, and we've seen he so rarely deviates from his system. And now is the time when he may have to, and I don't know that he's up for that task. This is not club football, where if you have injuries, you can go change players, you can go get players, you have a transfer window. No, the talent pool is what the talent pool is. It is the job of a national team manager to come up with a system that puts your most talented players in the best position to succeed. Gregg Berhalter does not take that approach. He takes the opposite approach. This is my system. I'm going to plug the best players in that fit my system. I don't think that's the way to go here. So I would like to see some variance. I would like to see some variety. I would like to see things change up. We do not have 2 Copa America level fullbacks. We just don't. I like Joe Scally. I don't think he's there yet. And he's had a good season, but I don't think he's there yet. I don't think having Joe Scally plug in and try to be Sergiño Dest puts the best 11 on the pitch. I don't think that's the way to go, and I'm almost certain that's what Gregg Berhalter's going to do. Or Tim Weah, and then we have a weaker right wing, and we've got another non-defensive right back. I just don't think that sets the team up to succeed. So I would like to see some variance from Gregg Berhalter. Try 3 backs, try some wing backs, try something different. And that's the inherent problem with Gregg Berhalter, is he is just not that guy. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see them go out for their next friendly or their next game, and we got 3 at the back and we're trying some new things. I will be the first one to say, hey, he did it. I'll also say it's about time, but at least I'll say he did it. That would be great to see. This is the time to change things up. You're missing a key piece of that formation now. You can't just plug in the next best option and hope for the best. I would also love to get your comments. Get down in that comment section. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. What formation would you go with? How do you think Berhalter's going to handle it? How would you handle it? Tell me what you think. Get down in that comment section. Also, tell me what you think on Twitter @PitchsidePub. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me down below if you don't already follow the channel, and check out the website, pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.